For my independent reading novel, I chose the book It's Kind of a Funny Story. It's a book about a boy named Craig who diagnoses himself with severe depression and checks himself into a mental hospital. And although this book was about depression, I didn't find it at all depressing. I found that the main character, Craig, taught me a lot about isolation. Isolation can obviously make depression worse because you just sit there by yourself and feel alone all the time. But it can also help, like when he was in the mental hospital, he had a lot of time to be by himself and reflect on the things that he's done and maybe what he could change to make things more positive. I found that a good place to represent isolation would be in the bathroom because Craig used to go there a lot to think about himself and things that he could do to make himself better. He almost used to tease himself for having depression, and the bathroom was a private place where he could do that without being judged.
I like how this book focuses on getting better, but some kids don't and end up committing suicide. As you can see, the majority of teens that commit suicide are in the 9th grade and female. This book just comes to show that even boys can have self-esteem issues and everyone deals with the same problems.
Most books about depression end in tragedy, and I love how this book is unique and makes readers want to look forward to a better future and work through their problems like Craig did. I think expectations for teens now are set way too high. Yeah, we can achieve a lot, but becoming president, like I said before, isn't a realistic goal. And I think kids need to start realizing that and boosting their self-esteem, knowing that they are capable of achieving that in the future, but for right now, there are better things they can be focusing on. This book made me realize that expectations for teens today are set way too high. Yeah, we have a lot of things to do and a lot of ways to achieve them, but the thing is that we're expected to sit in our rooms, do our homework, get A pluses, act and dress a certain way for school, to be popular, and that's obviously not realistic. Everyone's different, and just because they are different or have a mental illness doesn't mean they should be made fun of.
Depression is a common mental disorder, not just with teens, but with people all over the world. Globally, more than 350 million people of all ages suffer from depression.
And obviously having too many of these problems at once can lead to feeling alone, isolated, and eventually depressed. But as the book went on, my perspective changed, along with the main character, Craig. He started to reflect on himself in the mental hospital and realize all the things that he was missing out on, like hanging out with his friends on weekends instead of doing homework. And Craig opened his eyes and realized that being successful doesn't mean you have to make millions of dollars and have a giant house. It just means you have to be comfortable with yourself and the decisions you've made and realize that you love what you're doing and you want to look forward to doing it in the future. As this book came to a close, I could feel a lot of the pressure being lifted off Craig, knowing he had the support from his family and his friends to switch to an art school. It gave me a good sense of self-respect and confidence that I think a lot of teens need these days and may start to have developed after reading this book.
I have to say the end of this book is my favorite part. Craig starts to enjoy people's company and lists the things he looks forward to doing in the future. The last few lines of this book also made me realize how Craig overcomes his depression. The want to live, 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 live.